We'll be having roadblocks and patrols nationwide. But do you know your rights? If you're stopped by the police, can you be arrested for unpaid fines right there where they stop you, where there's a roadblock? What if you're asked to take a breathalyzer test or your car is declared unroadworthy right there on the spot? This morning, we're going to be unpacking some of the legal ins and outs of roadblocks and the road traffic safety with Attorney Melusi Xulu, is the managing director of Donda Attorneys, to make sure you're well informed, well protected, and safe while traveling these holidays, because we know how our police and traffic police can sometimes abuse the power that they have. They can take advantage of the fact that they are in uniform, and they can just rough you around, especially if you don't know your rights. So that's why we have Mr. Melusi Xulu, the managing director of Donda Attorneys, this morning, who's going to be helping us, assisting us, try to dissect some of the rights that you have and how you should be responding to some situations. Mr. Xulu, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate you giving us your time this morning.
Good morning, sir, and good morning to the listeners at home. Thank you for inviting me.
No, the pleasure is all ours. I think we can kickstart the conversation with just generally what exactly would give law enforcement the right to set up roadblocks and to stop motorists, especially at such a busy time like this, where everyone is traveling. It's the Easter long weekend, and there's so much happening on our roads.
All right. Look, because the roads were busy, what the traffic department and the police will do, they will issue a directive that the roadblock must be done. It can be formal. At times when it's not busy, it can be informal. But what is important is that the main reason is for safety and to ensure that everyone is respecting the law in terms of the Road Traffic Act and all other laws that are relevant for safety on the road. So it's important for, say, for example, there might be someone who's driving in drunken state or under the influence of alcohol. So the minute that person is stopped, many lives can be saved. So it's important that it's done, but obviously it must be done within the parameters of the Constitution.
No, definitely. Let's get into the nitty gritties of this conversation. You get stopped at a roadblock. You're a motorist at that very moment. What are some of the basic legal rights do you have, and that you should know?
Well, obviously, when you are stopped, one important misconception is that you are forced to pay your fines that you are owing on the roadblock. But according to the AARTO Act, that is not the law. You can pay later on the fine. Just to assist that the AARTO is an act that is used. It's called the Administrative Adjudication of Road Traffic Offences. So road traffic offences. So it's important that you shouldn't be feeling that you'll be bullied into paying the fine on the spot. That is very important. Then secondly, you must be aware that the police can search your vehicles at the roadblock as if they have a reasonable ground or consent to do so. And then obviously then fines will be issued and then you must pay within 30 days. So the police must also make sure that they respect your constitutional rights. But where it's urgent and there's a reasonable reason, they can search without a search warrant, but ordinarily there should be a search warrant, but they can search without it as well.
All right, so you're saying at a roadblock, the routine ones, when they asked open your boot, give us access to the inside of your car to search, maybe they have sniffer dogs. They have a right to do that. They can do it. I don't have any right to stop them. They can do it even though they don't have a search warrant at the time.
Yes, if there's a reasonable consent, not a consent, if there's a reasonable suspicion of something that has been done, they can do that so that they can ensure safety. Then obviously you will have the right to challenge it when you go to court through your attorneys and so forth.
Mm. And what happens then if something is found in my car? It's contraband. It's something that I shouldn't be having. It's something that maybe is deemed to be illegal. Can I use the fact that my car was searched without a warrant as a way to, I don't know, try to get out of it? Does it work like that?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, because like I said, you have just stopped on a roadblock, which is formal, that has been sanctioned, or which is informal. So it may happen that the police are stopping you because of some suspicion. They are within their rights to do that. It's their job to ensure safety and order in terms of the law. However, there are certain times where maybe you give them explanation. I'll just give you an example of a case I did about 2 years ago, where a
Mm,
gun was found in the client's car. He was in a meeting at the hall in the south coast of KZN, but he explained that, look, I took this car to a car wash. So I don't know what happened. Then you found the car at the back of my seat. So it could be that it was planted because you were called that there's a suspicion that I've got a gun.
mm,
Unfortunately, according to chain evidence, they didn't check fingerprints to verify what was saying that it might be that it was planted. And then obviously you won the case. So yes, sometimes they can search, they can find something within their rights, but you may have a reasonable explanation for that. And if they don't follow it up, in court, it's going to have a different result.
mm, mm. I want to focus on the issue of vehicle checks and impoundment. This is something that our traffic police really like to do, impounding people's cars. Just when you are in that situation, when an officer declares your vehicle unroadworthy at a roadblock, what are some of the implications for the driver? Number one, is there recourse, and how can motorists go about handling the situation?
Well, if there are certain things that you have not adhered to when you're driving the car or it's in your possession, maybe there are certain outstanding issues or the car is not roadworthy, because that's one of the reasons for for a roadblock. It should obviously be taken to a department where you can retrieve it, you can pay a fine, and then you can make sure that whatever was the complaint has been sorted out. Then I think that you just follow the due process and you work with the police. But that's why it's important that your car must be roadworthy. Everything that needs to be done in terms of it being roadworthy must be completed. I must apologize. I'm very pressed for time because court is
Mm.
starting. We were about at I think 10 to we have to start our interview. So, but I'm just letting you know that of my time. Sorry about that.
Mm. No, no worries. I was just about to ask the last question, and then I'll just let you go. Your final word. What's the one thing, or a very important tip that you feel every South African motorist should remember before hitting the road this Easter weekend?
Your car must be serviced properly, obviously. Your car must be roadworthy. If you feel that you want to have a nice joy in drinking, make sure that you have someone who has a license who can drive you, because obviously you might spend a long weekend or you might get police bail, so you want to avoid that. But also, just take note that when you are stopped for drunken driving, the blood must be taken within 2 hours according to the law. And if it's not taken within 2 hours, there'll be an issue with that blood in terms of chain evidence. But also, I mean, make sure that when you're driving with your children, I mean, the belts must be fastened properly and so forth. And then just enjoy your weekend.
All right, there you have it. Enjoy your long weekend too, Mr. Xulu. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best.
Thank you, my leader.
There you go. That is our managing director of Donda Attorneys, Attorney Melusi Xulu, just giving us some very important tips, what you need to know when it comes to road traffic stops, roadblocks. This long weekend, we're going to be seeing a lot of them. We know that our police abuse their power, and it's up to you to know your rights, to communicate with them well. Because one thing that I've noticed, especially with South African law enforcement officers, um, it feels like when you know your rights and you seem to know a bit more than the normal motorist or normal citizen, that's where they seem to abuse you even more. They're like, we'll show you. You think you know your rights, we'll show you who's boss. and then you have a situation where you're spending your long weekend behind bars. So I think it's very, very important that we all are careful. We all adhere to the rules of the road. Make sure that you don't give the police any right to abuse you, because they can do that. So don't drink and drive. Make sure that you have your license and all of your documents in order. Make sure that your car is serviced. Make sure that you don't have anything that will get you in trouble with the police inside your vehicle. And yeah, just be careful on the roads, man. Interact with them well, respectfully. There's no need to fight our men and women in blue, our traffic officers. They're there to keep us safe. But we know that they have a tendency of abusing their power. So yeah, I think just keep calm and make sure that everything is in order. I think they kind of thrive on that. If you have something that will make them attack you and victimize you, they will use it. So I think it's best that you tick all the boxes. You have your checks and balances in order. You cross your T's and dot your I's, as they commonly say. And yeah, you just say, officer, where's your license? You pull it out. Your wipers, indicators, they're working. Your tires, they're in order. Breathalyzer, you're sober as a pasta. And you're good to go, man. It's beautiful long weekend. You don't want to ruin it because of interactions with the police and traffic officers. Make it a good one. Make it a nice chilled one. And be back again next week, safe and sound. We're going to take a quick break. News and views continues after this.